nkwuwa eziokwu ka ndị na-ege ntị wee ghọta ma sonyekwe na eziokwu a. Anyị na-arara olu gị nwoke, onye ndu anyị, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, banye n'ọba aka gị nke dị nsọ ma dịkwa ike ma dị ngọzi. Anyị na-ekele gị maka ndụ ọhamadike ma na-ayọkwa gị ka ichekwa ya mgbe niile ruo oge ọ ga-esi n'aka ndị iro wee pụta n'oge na-agaghị ete aka. Ugwu ọ na-arị atụ egwu nọnyere nwaanyị onye ndu anyị Lolo Uchechi Okwu Kanu na ụmụ ya, gọzikwa ndị isi anyị, ndị Directorate of State DOS, nakwa ndị niile na-aga ozi ọrụ IPOB, kachasị anyị ndị nke nọ na United Kingdom. Nye anyị ike na ume ịrụgide ọrụ a ruo ọgwụgwụ oge. Lụọrọ anyị ọgụ ka mmeri bụrụ nke anyị, megide ndị na-emegide anyị, chekwaa ụmụ Biafra niile, kachasị ụmụ akwụkwọ anyị ndị ESN, nakwa ikwu na ibe, ọnọ n'ụlọ na ọnọkwa n'ama. Ezinna anyị agụ na-eche mba, mere anyị karịa oke anyị yọrọ gị n'abalị a, ka ọnwa anyị wee zuo oke. Otito niile abụrụ nke gị ruo mgbe Biafra ga-abịakwa. Anyị arịọ gị site n'aha nwa gị nke mụnwa kwere, Yeshua Amashia. Ise 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 ise. Once again, you're welcome to the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra. Here we will be discussing topical issues. We call it Topic of the Week. We will have special guests in our midst, like we're having on this very maiden edition. Sometimes we will have a panel, a UK panel of Ezigbo Muchineke, who will sit in the studio to discuss this topic. But tonight, being the very first episode of the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra, it is an honor and privilege indeed to welcome our studio guest, who is none other than IPOB's own First Lady, Lolo Uchechi Okwu Kanu, who has been to Nigeria and Biafra land recently, so she's very fresh, loaded. She will tell us more about her visits and experience, among other issues that we discuss tonight. Before I bring Lolo on, dear listeners, I'd like to advise us to please be attentive, possibly have pen and paper handy. Also be patient until the phone lines are open. It's going to be an interactive session. But Lolo, we have to narrate her experiences first before we open the phone lines. She is more than happy to take your calls. I'm sure you will show her your love as usual tonight. I also ask us to be very respectful, please. As a rule of the thumb, do not call until at least after the next 25 minutes. Then the phone lines will be open. Many thanks to our coach here, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, who is our technical director and guardian tonight. I'm very confident you'll be able to put your calls through to us, and Lolo will interact with you. Lolo, it's indeed an honor and privilege to have you practically launch this brand new program on Radio Biafra, the UK. I know everybody wants to know how our Oyendu is faring, particularly during your visits. But first thing first, how are you and how is Nnamdi?
Thank you, Mazi. Ndewo.
It's about the Biafra.
Ndewo, Mazi. Good evening, great Biafrans. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night, depending on where you're listening to me from. I want to thank everyone for their love and support. And thank you, Mazi, Nwokoro, and thank you, Mazi, Jonathan, for this priceless effort and service Ununenye Biafrans is not easy, but it is worth it. Need to forget, okay, because we have just little time. I will be having a full-blown broadcast on the 22nd, a week on today. So most of the things will have to be elaborated more or further on that very broadcast. But to answer your question briefly, Mazi, as always, as always, I am burdened with a lot of things. We have just returned from Ihonyendu, and Omaka quickly resumed school. So battling between jet lag and tiredness and so much pressure, I was having problems, you know, kind of like catching up on things. There were so many letters, a lot of things, because I know almost a month. So I was battling with all of that. So I even had a knife cut. I was lagging, you know, because I need to sleep and rest, but I am not able to do that when you have, you know, your family to look after. So, but having traveled, I'm doing okay. I'm holding up okay, and then I became elated and refreshed. I mean, you know, so all they need to do is just enjoy themselves. And so, having seen his father, he's doing very well, refreshed and reprogrammed. In fact, it was a very memorable time. So, I think that's where we are at the moment. Ndewo, Mazi.
That is very, very interesting to hear. We also had on the news piece from our own desk that Nabikem has been able to see his beloved dad, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for the very first time in more than 3 years, nearly 4 years. Is that correct?
Yes, Mazi, that's correct.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So it must have been very, very, very emotional. This is for him. In particular, we thank Chuko Kabiama for that relieving experience, and also for your journey messages going to both Abuja, I understand. Let me start by asking, I know that in your last broadcast, you narrated some frustration you experienced when you visited Onyendu last. You didn't get much cooperation from both the DSS officials and also members of Onyendu legal team that's supposed to facilitate your seeing him. So how was this experience? I know you must have seen him on more than 2, 3, 4 occasions.
Yes, Maz. Thank you. Before I will answer the question from the lower side of the sentence. The experience, if I may, for Nabikem was quite refreshing. In fact, as we go along, I intend to do a lot of teachings, you know, in being able to survive in a certain environment and situation, and how people can do that without so much noise. And I was able to capture the first time Nabikem, because Admime a million to arrest. So Nabikem had clocked 3 years. Nabikem a year and a few months. He made Operation Python Dance in 2017.
Yes.
So even though Yendu, when he came on a certain interview, he was not able to explain he did not really talk about Utaisi Choya for over a year. we were without any form of communication. And that became as well, had to go through that moment, even though not a baby going into a toddler stage, not knowing anything about the father. So that became a clock all 3 years and a few weeks before your home papaya for the first time. So that was a very emotional moment. And the second emotional moment for Nabikem this time I Hononyendu, where he saw him nearly 4 years. So for nearly 4 years rather. So when we saw Onyendu, because they don't allow us to go in with a phone, I was not able to record that memorable and emotional moment. But yeah, but immediately Onyendu, oh, Papa, daddy.
I can relate to that.
And I just stood there. I just stood there. Anyway, so that was the experience for him. For me, my remarkable and eternal memory until I leave this planet would be that I spent my birthday, the 28th of August, at the DSS with my husband and child.
Wow. So, wow. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank
that
you.
Must be a special moment.
Yes. Even that morning, I didn't remember my birthday. That's how it is. When I became today's date, mommy, 28. Oh, happy birthday, mommy. So thank you. So when we got on that day, we were scheduled to see Onyendu. So when we saw him, I kept saying to everybody, "Oh, it's my birthday today. It's my birthday today." So we had to spend extra few minutes because Sunday says today is my birthday. So one of them took and became out, of the room, and just to talk na Onyendu's lap, and just cross my legs on his lap and say, "Today's my birthday. I'm sleeping here." But well, that was not allowed, so we had to go. And another thing I was going to say regarding that, just skipped my mind now, was that if I remember it, I will go back to it. It just skipped my memory now.
Yes.
So yeah, so that was a remarkable time for me. So I remember what it is now. When we saw Onyendu for the first time that Friday, he didn't look well to me, and I was very worried as we returned, and I kept thinking, because as Deacon, I just don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So anyway, we chatted. That was before my birthday anyway, so that was the first time we saw him. Then the next week, Monday, we saw him again, and he looked somehow refreshed. So Marcia, you look better today than you looked on Friday. That I was very worried over the weekend. Osimia, having seen Nnamdi, he was able to that he has not slept for weeks. So he was lacking sleep, and that was what was on his face there. And after seeing Nnamdi, that kind of gave him a little bit of soothed, kind of gave him a relief, and he had sleep. He had to sleep a little bit, and then he looked better. But he's still not well. So I don't know if I've answered all the questions, or is there any part that I'm?
Yes, you did very well. I mean, we can surmise that you received cooperation from the DSS officials. Of course, they should, because it's your birthday, and you are probably more frequent there this time than previously. But did you also get cooperation and assistance from the legal team, or apparently you didn't really need them to access Onyendu?
No. Just to access Onyendu, I don't really need the legal team. He's my husband, and I can write to the DSS to visit him.
Okay.
Which I did the first 3 times or so, and there was some sort of noise at the back about that. So I decided to go through the legal team. And why that is the case is because I also made a decision that, or I have made a decision that Osainawa is not. I am married to Nnamdi Kanu, very much married to him. But it is no longer about emotional marital, you know, activities. There's the emotions are there, the love is there, but some other people have been added to this marital platform of ours. It is now about Nnamdi Kanu, Omoya, and Omoya at large, Biafrans and IPOB being the umbrella
Yes.
upon which we are embarking on this journey. So I intend to be. I won't be all out to say a lot of things, but I know that I owe the people a little bit of one and two things sometimes. Having said that, I am somebody they Adam very I am a Virgo, first of all. If anybody's questioning my personality, you need to go and research about Virgos, Ndamuru, under the full moon. I am a straightforward person. I would rather not say anything at all than to lie to you. That is one. So the reason I decided to go by myself without going through the legal team is because the person who is leading the team has no regard or respect for me. And if you disregard me and you disrespect me, I cannot force you to respect me. That is not my job. You should have been trained to know to respect your client's wife. So if you have disrespect for me, what I would do is to remove myself from your space. So if you're coming to me, you come to me with respect or nothing. I don't compromise. So I had no need for any legal team to take me or otherwise. But once in a while, if I have anything to pass across, I go through Barrister Maxwell. So amongst all the team, he's the only person who shows me regard. And I reciprocate by nature, whatever color you show me. So that's how I behave. And that's all basically.
Thank you very much, Lolo, for that honesty and transparency. And we say in IPOB, we are whiter than white, we are whiter than snow. So we are Umuchineke, always with the truth.
Absolutely.
We maybe touch on Onyendu's health a little bit later. We got update, which has gone viral. Okay. Only yesterday from Barrister Masra you mentioned. Good to know that he's respectful. Somebody I know personally as well. I'm glad to hear that. He gave an update regarding Onyendu's cardiovascular health, and that the consultant cardiologist has professionally advised the DSS to release Onyendu to his medical facilities so that he can be fully assessed and given the treatment which is not feasible within the confines of the dungeon. But as usual, it's falling on deaf ears, and Onyendu's health is deteriorating. I'm sure you must have seen that. We all continue to pray for Onyendu. The hand of Chukwuka has held him strong against all trials, tribulations, temptations. While he's been in the enemy's net, we continue to uphold him, and nothing untoward will happen to him. He said, let me ask Lolo, did you manage to find time? It must have been very busy for you in Abuja. Did you manage to find time to visit Biafra land, particularly your home, the compound and family of Eze Israel Kanu?
Yes, Mazi, thank you. Yes, we visited Biafra land. It was a bit tight, but we managed to take a few days to go to a few on few errands. Nabukim, we went to my husband's compound. I will be sharing maybe a reel on that. Choma will have to. I'll do a post, and Choma will, as usual, she will post it later today or tomorrow.
Good.
I took Nabukim for the first time to to his father's compound, and
Wow.
although I took him to see his grandfather. So some of you don't know, Nna became Loro Grandpa Owa. So Onye Zebun Loro Owa whilst he was still alive. So I took Nna became to see Onyendu's my parents in law, both of them, Ugeze and Papa, when I think he was 3 then. And in Germany, in fact, unfortunately, it was after then that I lost my mother-in-law. So Nabi came out, he saw his grandparents, which is also a consolation to me. And he talks about, and he behaves like his grandfather anyway. So when we got to our compound in Ishamafara, we went round. I showed Nabi came. We went round with Adanedim. So we went around the place. Nabi Kim was excited that the all of I and Oburibu, not this 2x2 I need in a UK.
Exactly.
So he was excited. It's a big compound, and so we stayed, and then eventually we went to his grandparents' grave. So I got nearly my parents-in-law and and I called upon them to make them for them to acknowledge that I've brought in that became a lawyer, his umbilical cord, so that eventually, just as they instructed me when we met them in Germany, I've brought him now, and this is the first time I'm not but there. So in that regard, there's something about spirituality, that connection, Nadialo and spoken words. I will be teaching our people a lot of the meaning of all of this and why some people find difficulties in some certain things. So I called upon them through the Allah, yes, for them to then begin to work with him now that I have brought him there. And then they became. And that was my spiritual process for that very moment. So I made them also pay again. And the next time I got with only Ishi, in case which is dim, and then the rest of the family. So we'll come and pay sacrifices that we need to, call upon them. As always, continue to guide and protect all of us, especially Nabikim as well. So yes, and that is it for that one.
Wonderful, very detailed, Lord, and you did excellently, culturally well. For our listeners who are non-Igbo speaking, what Lolo said in a nutshell is Onyendu's and Lolo's son, Nabikem, is the reincarnate of his granddad, Onyendu's father, Eze Israel Okwu Kanu. And this visit afforded Lola and Nabikem the opportunity to pay homage. In fact, the first time Nabikem will touch down his feet on the soil of his father's compound. So we need to learn a lot from this. Lolo touched on several other cultural, traditional implications, and she's happy to share and teach us. So Lola will be one of your students. I will enroll as soon as possible so we can learn a bit more about this.
Thank you.
Let's go into other things that happened. Why you and Nabikem were at home, both in Nigeria and Biafra land. Your visit coincided with the End Bad Governance protests by hungry, I don't think they are really angry Nigerians. Yeah. So it's well noted that Biafrans, Ndibo in particular, did not participate, and therefore it was largely uneventful or didn't have much impact. How did you see it?
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. In fact, I really appreciate this question because I didn't get around to talking on the social media space during the noise regarding this protest. But I did tweet telling whoever would, take me seriously, that now this protest is already a flop. And why is it a flop? Your government is already tabling or showcasing you the art of evasiveness. You bringing a concern to your government, and rather than listening to your concern, they are making it invalid and void by evading your concern, the topic of your concern, the main issue that you're talking about. Now I see that now a certain set of people are instigating the protest. That should tell you that you have already failed on arrival. So I tried to pinpoint that. I knew that it would be a flop. But before I talk about the protest, let me talk about for the first time, the oneness of Ndibo regarding this protest. You can agree with me that, in fact, Ndibo hearkened to the voice and call of IPOB's voice of reasoning from the mountaintop to not indulge or participate in this very protest, and they listened because it was a trap. Some people are mad on ethnic cleansing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So some people are not aware that now we are targeted. So having said that, I'm not targeted, right? But having listened to IPOB, their protest was ineffective. I mean, it yielded nothing. It yielded no fruit. Also, it showed me that Ndibo can actually, if they go back and ask questions, and ask themselves, why are we targeted? Why is it that the world is afraid of our emergence as a nation? Why was there a number game after the Biafran War saying no about 3 million people killed when more than 5 million people were killed?
That's insane.
Up until today, British government and the rest of them, they've not taken responsibility to do some sort of restitution regarding that. And they still want to press us down. So, finally able to come together, now this very protest, without much noise around it, they just separated from, when I don't want to call anybody chaff or whatever, but they removed themselves from this very chaos. And so that taught me something. That taught me that this is the Igbo that I grew up knowing and hearing about it, that Nigwebike.
Mm-hmm.
That now you come and that now and also that the house that does not divide against itself will stand and continue to stand. Where is that in the Igbo? Now they are community together. Where is that in the Igbo Netikota can run airports? Getting the Igbo. That is my question. So I was very happy. I was elated, and I said, hey, now that's more like it. So if we could neutralize and made important the agenda of the enemy, that should show you that we are actually very strong.
Great.
So we neutralized that, and we made their protest became ineffective. It was ineffective protest because Ndibo did not join. So I say, well done to Ndibo. I want to use this opportunity to thank Ndibo for listening. Akwafola Baranya too much, and we need to go back to the drawing board and begin to understand and work around stopping the bloodshed. We will get what we're looking for without having to allow any more bloodshed. Enough is enough of bloodshed. So that is me saying thank you to Ndibo for that. So if I then proceed to the ineffective protest, so because Nandibo, in fact, when we were leaving the UK, in the UK.
Yes, that was right. Exactly. About the same time.
That was a crazy, crazy experience. And I also want Africans at large to also ask themselves questions. So I tweeted, I did a post this afternoon, I can't remember the time, about people asking themselves, why is it that now I'm in UK, more in America, have you asked yourself, even though I'm in UK, more in America, you get to a section of a form, you are being pushed to a certain section where you need to carve yourself on the Black African, Black Caribbean, African, whatever, Black, all those Black British, all those nonsense. Ikle mucha UK citizen, they will still catch you there. Have you asked yourself the reason? Number 2 question, have you asked yourself why every time looking at your passport, there is place of birth? So, I know in UK, in America, in Canada, we need to understand that regardless, go and check my post on Facebook. You are still classed as an immigrant. As long as you will not your name is Richard White, I'm na 10 Downing Street office or hospital, whatever it is, that's your home. Even if you're 10 Downing Street, you will immigrants. So the earlier we begin to go back to understand our roots, when I say root, I'm going to teach on that. This nonsense I need to snap, we're going back to our root, and you need to understand the rudiment of what that means. When you understand the spiritual connection of everything, regardless what it is, then you can begin to go through a path in a certain way, showing a grounded understanding of what you're doing. So that is another point. So boy and Nana trying in a UK, and then what did we see when we got home? Protest. So when we landed in Abuja, the protest war, I think, na Abuja, there was no protest in the east anyway. We didn't involve ourselves in that. So, but in Abuja, 8 o'clock in the morning, they start the protest, like in the morning. So 8 o'clock in the morning, they come to work, which is they come to protest, and 5 p.m. I think, hey Michi. So you start protest at 8 a.m. and then you shut down by 5 p.m. for some days. I don't think they lasted. I don't know how many days guy gave me. I don't know how much they lasted.
10 days, but I think it must have lasted 2 or 3 days.
So Nigeria, knowing that Nigeria was not a company of the UK government, is a company, it is transformed from a business into a country. So Nigeria is a business, and then so when the acquisition or whatever, their agenda changed, they switched to making it a country. So we all know that. But I don't believe in Nigeria's democracy. They don't practice democracy. They practice kakistocracy. That's what I know Nigeria to practice, not democracy. So Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, what they practice is kakistocracy. I've been using that term since 2017. So that is what they practice. So yeah. So now, drilling down to the protest and how ineffective it was, you would see that now, naturally, every human with that tendency to have a fickle mind. So humans are fickle minded. Don't get me wrong, but in a high percentage of Nigerians associated with this trait. Why am I coming through this line? The Nigerian Labour Congress and their I can't remember what that is called, trade union something. They called for indefinite general strike, demanding that the country's minimum wage be raised from 30,000 naira to 490 guineas, 90 something naira, 490 something thousand naira, and that is based on the inflated cost of living and electricity and everything. We know that here in the UK, when there is an inflation, you need to get a little bit. Now your salary it would top up, kind of to align with whatever it is, even if muzurugi, but then that consideration is there to add something to your salary in order to align with inflation or the current whatever it is going on in the country.
Inflation, yeah.
Absolutely. So now they decided to go on strike. Well, what is the outcome of that? Labor union Barrister Jaffa tweeted something. I didn't finish reading it. I didn't finish the write-up. But from what I learned, they went and had tea party. Na Asarok, I think. They went to have tea party.
And collected brown envelope.
Thank you. And they take and they were giving brown envelope. I'm sure by now they have finished the money. They've consumed the money. I mean, they're done spending the money. Whatever it is they were given. How much, I don't know how much they were giving, but whatever it was, it's finished. They've all, I mean, have spent each other the money by now.
Well, now they no longer collect brown envelope. According to RBL, they receive whatever is called via email. So that's their new methods.
So I don't know, my Nigerian government was it 60,000 naira or not as a minimum wage, but whatever it was, the country, the economy has nosedived. The people, in fact, I learned that now petrol is now 1,300 and something. So that's the thing with not being able to stand when you say something, when you're fighting for something. It says just like IPOB is shutting down. We're no longer seeking for the restoration of Biafra. Everybody, I want everybody to be I kid you not. So when you come out and say, this is what I want, this is why I'm crying, regardless what you must continue to cry. You must continue to cry. So when they stand and made that noise, I knew that it would not make any impact. So that's my own understanding of what happened in the protest.
Thank you so much, Lolo. It's so in-depth. Actually, this is our topic of the week, which we'll carry on to next week. We'll get our panel in on this program to add to the incisive analysis and deep insights Lolo has provided already. We dodged a bullet in this protest, that is obvious. Another high point is that the hunger in the land is ravaging, is savage. But the hunger has not quite translated to enough anger to lead to revolution. Maybe it will get there. Maybe this is a trigger for Biafra to come via the default or factory set route. We see what's going to happen. But this topic, and bad governance, whether in Nigeria, I don't know where they mean, without Biafrans on Igbo, how market. That's going to be continue as our topic for next week as well. Lolo, thank you for giving us a wonderful prelude to this topic that we need to explore a bit more. And I strongly believe that more is to come out of it. Before we open the lines, which will happen maybe in the next
Sorry, Mazi. There's something I need to. I'll tweet that as well. The Nigerian people, there's the saying na Igbo, agba mbụ ya atụ n'ogwe, agba abụọ, yes, ya atụ n'ogwe, agba I just think yes, so the intelligent people, so-called Nigerians, why I don't the government, mad that they are fickle-minded and they are not strong, they have resorted to fate. But that is not how a country will work. So they believe more in Bura and Japa. Yes, 1, 2. Not on Facebook, not on social media. Nande country hana about. Not on social media now call rubbish. So everybody is trying to be something. So that is why they are not taken seriously, because they're all intelligent. Well, as you say, on social media, everybody is intelligent on social media until you work with them on a certain pace and intellectual reasoning, then you can figure out if indeed that person is intelligent. So they need to seek another strategy. That's one thing I want to say to round up on this protest. So the organizers of protest, they had a team of protest, had a beer flyer, a beer flyer, made single.
Timetable.
Yeah, and then you're not serious.
Yeah.
You're not serious. So they are busy on social media creating bandwagon, all these mantra. So from we no agree this year, Abi, no go agree for anybody.
No agree for anybody.
No agree for anybody to tease. They have just learned the word tease. They never knew that there was something existing as tease. You want to align what you're saying and add tease to it. You're a joker. The so-called intellectuals, should use their physics knowledge, the tensile strength, and find the so Nigeria, in their kakistocracy nature or system of government, you can think that they're foolish. They're not. They're just wicked, very, very wicked, and in that wickedness they act foolishly. So they need to find the tensile strength, which is a big body, is a government, but all they need is just to find small holes and drill in strategic locations, strategic areas. Then you compromise the load carrying capacity of the body. That's what they need. So they should find it literally and find it, politically, economically, socially. Just find that, and then they will have their way. For now, the government is taking them for granted because they are not serious.
I totally agree with you, Lolo, because if not, how would a workers' union or leadership advocate for 400 and something thousand minimum wage, and then they go to Asarok, get sorted out or settled, and they come out with 70,000 naira, less than 50 pounds or thereabout.
Less than 50 pounds.
At minimum wage, which cannot, if you have a car, you can't even fuel your car for a week if you are depending on the nature of your job. So I think they're taking people for a ride. Unfortunately, the people are there because you get civil servants who are on salary of 150,000 naira per month. They don't even regard their salary. I don't want to reveal this. When I narrate my own personal experience, it's a joke. They get their salary, they go to the joint and finish it the same day because they go to the office 2 days after and they make 15 million naira from corruption.
Everybody is corrupt. An average Nigerian is corrupt as their leaders. Now, I asked somebody a question at the airport. They pissed me off at the airport. I told, even at the hotel liner, they pissed me off. I told the manager off. If you try, I just wanted to take toast in. They hold on to nonsense that makes no meaning whatsoever. They can't use their common sense to analyze things. So you want to end bad governance when an average, just one of them on a protest ground, and I say end bad governance. Give one of them
instead of saying end Nigeria. Bad governance is synonymous with Nigeria. So end bad governance, substitute the end bad governance. We say end same period, end Nigeria.
Yeah, and Nigeria. So even those ending Nigeria, they still have a certain mentality, which is, I mean, it's detrimental to your new, nation that you intend to create. Yes. So it's to end bad governance. Take the position of Tinubu now or whoever and give to one of them. They are at who is the leader? Who is the leader? It is the people. The people make up the leader. So we have bad leadership, we have bad good and wiggy. What is your behavior? How do you perceive things? How do you see things around your environment? So it has to start from the people. Yes. So that's I'll rest my case on that.
All right, Lolo, let me not get you started. I know. Away from the zoo, yesterday was the anniversary of Operation Python Dance 2. We call it Saboteurs Day. Shame to all saboteurs. The 14th of September 2017, we cannot forget. I know you were there. You were on ground.
No, Mazi, I was on the phone I was on the phone to
you on the phone, but you had close. I don't know. Just tell our viewers here how you saw that fateful day, because it has become an important day to us, almost coming close to May 30th.
So that was another painful experience. When I think about in the morale of that day, naturally I'm a worry bird, so I can stay awake. If somebody looks at me or looks at someone in a certain way, and I read meaning into it. In fact, I read meaning into everything anyway. I can stay up at night wondering. I want to find out what that means. So that's who I am. I'm a worry bird. I worry for, and it's in my nature anyway. So when I remember and then we were there, the pain is unbearable, Mazi. It's like a torture. When it's a torture when you realize, when you begin to play, because that's what I do. I play a lot of movies in my head. When something happens, I would play and play for years. Sometimes 10 years after, I'll be saying to myself, why did I not respond like this? In a certain way. Like I said, that's my nature. But when I remember Nnamdi and their family, I'm not able to reach out to everybody, but the pain or torture. These are some of the things that keep me up at night. How are they doing? How are they doing? I also made a post on that today because I posted something yesterday, but it didn't post. I think network was playing about. So I posted it today. I had to rearrange the date and then posted it today. So today is exactly 7 years and 1 day in my Operation Python Dance. I foresaw that, as always, as usual, as has happened with everything that has happened. And I was on the phone to Onyendu, like I narrated in a BBC interview that I had in 2018. And they said to me, "Why have I not had any interview?" Or no, asked him, "Why have you not tweeted since that time?" I said, "How well." The thing that happened to me was that I don't know what you know about miscarriage. That thing caused me to miscarry. So it caused me to miscarry in that 2017. I had a miscarriage from that very Operation Python Dance.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you, Mazi. Oh, you heard that my interview. Oh, no, BBC Ndoshi. They censored it. They didn't release that one.
They did.
No, I don't think they talked about where I lost a child, where I miscarried.
I think it was edited off.
Yeah. So that very event cost me that pregnancy, and I believe that is how the universe wanted it to go. So when I heard the shout, no, that thing, because that thing, she went for some days, and I was quite worried. And then I was saying, what's going on? What's going on? And that was the last I heard. So when you doesn't any update is what's this our brother's name? Somto was then giving information. I think I wronged him, and but my brother-in-law was on ground as well. So, in fact, the rest was a story which I would continue to talk about as we go along, where something happens. But it might be as is he alive? So the experience, maybe not there. I could have maybe at least known what I was doing, where I was going, where he is. But the fact that you can't reach anybody on the phone, you couldn't really reach your husband that you were just on the phone to a few minutes ago, and you could hear the sporadic shooting of the military guy, Fulani terrorists, because that's what they are. You just heard, you heard those gunshots, and all of a sudden you couldn't hear the voice of your husband. So I will release some of the videos that I made. How bara everywhere. He didn't know how bara cannot there. So our home still looks like is a mess. It is still a mess. So I will release some of the videos. So at some point we're going to have to rebuild our home. Yeah. So one of my husband, we will rebuild our home at least. Maybe house now. We'll all of the two mananya, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
And yes, so for now it's just messy, and it's painful. But I thank God that we are still where we are, and I am that big because of that. Even though that we've lost quite a number of people, and these are the people we need to run after to find out how we can help them as we go along.
Yes, and on this year's May 30th, we included those who paid the ultimate price during the evil Operation Python dance in our usual May 30th prayer rituals.
Yes,
and I want to, on that note, also add on this special program tonight, may the souls of all those who were gruesomely murdered, their lives cut short, taken away from us too soon on that faithful day, find eternal rest in Chukwukabema's paradise, while their spirits stay strong and alive and fight with us as enemies until Biafra is fully restored. He said, as Lolo, you actually need a breather, you need a coffee to digest that. Now, before we open the lines, which should happen in the next couple of minutes, we try and take two calls. Time flies indeed, the same way you're having fun. Yeah. Let me once again say, Lolo, you're most welcome back to the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Mazi.
Here in the UK, we see you as part of us. You're our mother of nation. We see you not just as mother of the Biafran nation that will soon emerge, but also the mother of the IPOB family worldwide, in particular in the United Kingdom family.
Thank you, Mazi.
You've always been with us in most of our activities, rallies, grounds, wherever we call upon you, you do your level best to show physically, especially in the last 3 years. For those who have no clue, Lolo has been the pillar of IPOB UK. I want to say this on air, that the enemy targeted IPOB UK because in their permutation, once they're able to strangulate IPOB UK, it will be easy for them to overrun IPOB wide. But they failed and they continue to fail. One of the major reasons why they failed is Lolo Uchechi Okwu Kanu. Take this to the bank. I am telling you the truth. So Lolo, welcome back. And I'm sure you know the struggle here in the UK, our travels, how we have been able to battle enemies of freedom from within and without. And I'm also sure that you may have experienced that even while you traveled to the zoo and Biafra land. Let me just ask this before we take calls. How have you assessed the impact of infiltration, detractors and impostors, agent provocateurs who claim that they are IPOB and we know they are not. What have they, obviously they've done some damage. How would you assess it from your perspective?
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. It seems as though you kind of we all work in tandem. Before I proceed, I want to our people. I like to. Imonyendu always says this. If you hold on to something, continue to say it. Continue to say it. If you continue, not every day, but hold that topic. Ichitaria, Mazi, do you remember Onyendu saying that?
Yes, absolutely.
He always says
consistency is key.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Their memory is not great. But they that great. People quickly, easily. It's not just in the bang. It's a natural thing, especially for people who are not very serious. I think people find me Adam too serious for some people. So you must remember everything at all times. Yeah. 20 years ago, if anything happens today, you should be able to quickly on your feet pick that up and merge them together. So I just said something a few minutes ago. There's something called tensile strength in physics for science students. I think that comes from Hooke's law of elasticity. Now, if you have a strong body, a strong structure, a strong wall or whatever, just find a few strategic places, yeah? And then before you know, boom, the load carrying capacity of that body collapses and the whole building, yes, for example, will come crashing. So the infiltrators tried, being Ndoshi that they are, tried to strategically drilling holes into some of these places and the hammer. Now on the impact side of it, they have no impact. Yeah, they damaged stuff. And I will reiterate it once again that the people who decided to go along that route were number one. I've talked about their mental capacity. I will come to that in a bit. When they were Nnamdi Kanu, yes. So when Nnamdi Kanu is making his broadcast, there were some certain people who go underneath his broadcast and insult him. Today. They are the same people playing that nonsense game today, writing rubbish under people's comments or whatever. And I have mentioned what that means in Latin. So is ad hominem fallacy is a psychiatric disorder. When rather than looking at the argument the person is having, the context of the content, or the content rather, you attack the person based on other things. You a mental problem. That's number one. So back home, what is going on is, and the Mandebanye as well, our people, when they hear that how much will I get today? So you're gonna win again 50K a day. I said not the competition or you got keep palm oil. Guess not pure water. Yeah, pure water. I can get it now. So now the criminals who used to kidnap and they no longer, the environment was no longer favorable for them, and they left east, they left Biafra land. This criminal entity or criminal section of a certain group, I'm coming to that as well in a split second. They get money and they give to these people. So these people kidnap for them. Yeah. So don't think that they have any followers or any. They've caused mayhem because Ndoshi that believes that now what can give them money now is nothing else but kidnapping, have joined the chorus. So now all the kidnapping. If you recall years back, Yeah, they made that they kidnapped on mad that time. Even when you basket akara, you know, they kidnapped her daughter. I asked her na jeep and go, "How bring akara?" She gave them a basket of akara, and that was when this nonsense was emerging. Yes, so hold that. That is what is going on in the East now. My brother-in-law, someone working for him, was coming with a worker, Ejide Hanozo, in Imo State. One of y'all na the Abaji or say, oh, Nnamdi Kanu, Igbo, sorry. It's a second on this side. Iwonya was in a gave the no Igbo cap and I go on Abaji or Baji Igbo, so no, Babo Donya was a Babo Doni, but only Babaji Oko, you know. So keep that aside as well. Some people have a kidnap on her. They kidnap these people and then they ask for or request for ransom. Now, where does the exchange take place? The back of the military checkpoint or police checkpoint. Also hold that. Now, that should align you or allude that to what Abacha once said, that any insurgents that lasted for 48 hours, take it to the bank, Aka government in there. I've always said that even before I became aware of Abacha's statement, I have always known that I said to myself that any location, any environment, the people come together. So we're forming vigilantes. Such thing can never happen in our village. Go around there. Go and make your survey. Such thing will never happen. Any environment, the police force or whoever said there will be no crime here, go and check it. There will be no crime. Why can't you go to Asoro and make kidnap on that around that DSS connecting to the why can't you go and make kidnap? Never make kidnap now. So the kidnapping stuff going on in the East, these criminals are working with some politicians, government in there, which will then take me to the leader of these kidnappers, these terrorists, yeah? This little imbecile, Nona Finland. For years, he has managed to call my name. After I'm that boy, Toyo for myself. But let's leave respect. Let's leave age by the side. He has managed to call upon Nnamdi Kanu. You said Nnamdi Kanu is you are his disciple. You are the Kanu disciple. You insult his wife. You insult his child. You insult his family. You insult his structure. IPOB. Now let me address him. For years, I've just alluded or connected or just talk about their nonsense, automatic stupidity that they're into. And that was not enough. In fact, it was enough for me because he's a child. He's a little child to me. Now he behaves like a little child in our side. You know these naughty children now, but millionaires how about if you knew such children in the village, Mazi, you know, growing up, and they were naughty children then. So this person, when you're having a shower or whatever, somebody calls and says, "Oh, you know what I heard? I say I'm coming now." He will jump out and come and talk and speak rubbish. Number one, he's not comprehensive enough. He's not comprehensive, one. And I managed to connect that to Trisomy 21. Mazi, I want people to check what Trisomy 21 is. T for Tango, R for Romeo, I for India, S for Sierra, O for Oscar, M for Mama, Y for Yankee, 21, number 21. Now, that is a genetic disorder. If you look at this little boy, that disorder, and that makes him behave like, what is that disorder? Is a portion, is a third chromosome 21. You know, when it happens to a person, that person will have a moderate intellectual disability. growth retardation, and some, characteristic facial features. So if you look at this boy in Finland, you would see that he escaped that disorder. Now, with all due respect to Ndewere Trisomy 21, because in this country, Mazi, if you go to a supermarket, you will see them working there. If you go to a bank, you will see them there. They're doing one thing or another. You go to them, the council, you will see them doing some jobs, doing something, pushing some stuff. Why is that the case? Because they have been trained. In this country, Ananya has special care.
Yeah, they have a special school.
Thank you.
Even though it's a form of learning difficulty, but they have been so well trained and mannered that is almost concealed, and their characters sometimes can be very, very, impeccable. And I just want to add to what you said. The Buffon in Finland is an intellectual dwarf. He's got nothing to offer. Absolutely.
They're not really, but that facial features. So if you look at this boy in Finland, you would see that is his facial features. So he escaped by 25%. Now, to analyze that is why I don't pay him no attention. But I will come to him I will round up in a short minute. Because of that, because he escaped, had he had trisomy 21, with all due respect to the trisomy 21 children, they are sensible. How am I here now? Just as you have confirmed, they are trained, so they behave like human beings. They are okay. They're fitting into the society and behave civilized. So because Onyanka escaped from the disorder, Mazi so he was not given that special care.
He couldn't have gotten it from the zoo where he escaped from. As the animal he is, we know how. I for one know how he ran away from the zoo.
So he's running around all over the place. Number one, he's working for the zoo government. This is the first time I'm calling Nigeria a zoo. In fact, to be honest with you, I don't throw names.
No apologies.
He's working for the Nigerian government. So his sense is number two. My husband, Nnamdi Kanu, for those of you who are deaf, where is that boy from? And now that should tell you that boy has only maybe he's affiliated through his mother's lineage to Ebony. Take it to the bank. Keeping all of that aside, he's running around like a little child that is not a trained.
Nobody knows his village or hometown.
Before you know he's insulting Nnamdi.
Yes, Lolo, you are very correct. When we come on Radio Biafra, we introduce ourselves and say the village or town where we come from and the province in Biafra land. This people has no identity.
Mm-hmm. So
no originality.
Yes. So he just appeared from wherever he appeared from, having this disorder that can allow him to reason like a human being. And he's bringing you Biafra. Yes? He's bringing you Biafra. Now,
maybe he's the cousin of Tinubu too, because Tinubu has similar identity crisis.
Thank you. So now you're fighting for Nnamdi Kanu, yes. You could be fighting that now in your family, like in family squabbles, where you're having issues, and then maybe one of the family, the other family, your opponent, comes and takes your father away. You go to their house to rain fire and brimstone, isn't it? Would you fight your siblings or there? You begin to burn it down because somebody came and took your father? Mazi, is that what you would do?
That is the height of criminality, the height of impunity, and the height of wickedness.
And foolishness. So it shows that you're not a member of that family. Yes? Because you would want to protect that home and go and fight for the release of your father, to recover your father from wherever he's held. Yes? So that is me answering that part. Now, on the part of the intellectual disability and the stupidity and creating nuisance on social media, I and IPOB, we and Nnamdi Kanu and his family We are fighting the government. We are busy. And I, for one, there's another little rascal lady that likes to call my name. There's nonsense going on now that Nnamdi Kanu, Nigerian government wants to release him to come and destroy what somebody. A psychiatric hospital to examine the nonsense that shoots out from their mouth. You wonder, is this a onya? So if Nnamdi Kanu is released today, I guess he's coming to destroy. What is that monkey? What is he doing? He's not doing anything. He's causing kidnapping. He's the leader of kidnappers and terrorists in Biafra land. And he's destroying Ali Igbo. And that I will go after him.
He said,
that is now conclude on our attention since I want his mates. Number one guy here. That's 1, 2. Away time. So we are busy resisting government. We are resisting the US government. Where UK government is busy playing pepper tiger and playing like they don't know what they're doing. Meanwhile, they're doing a lot to us. And we are fighting on that front. You think it's by going to war? What can you sustain war with? You can't. So we go with our brains. We find the loopholes and we present it. Biafra will come and then Nnamdi Kanu will be released, and all the people who are held in illegal detention and unknown places by the Nigerian terrorist government, they will be released. That is how we will go about it. So I am busy and burdened by the weight of our people. And I cry to God every night to please help us, that our people will not perish, that they be protected and guided by Okike and the universe. So I've been busy now on all fronts to make sure that our people are protected and resisting governments, because Hanetiaka in our lives in a lot of places, and I try to resist. So I've been busy with meetings and the government and resisting evil, both spiritually, politically, and otherwise. Therefore, you do not have the time to respond to him. Neither does Nnamdi Kanu's family, all of us. Right? We don't have the time to respond to him. Now, having said that, this is when you're going to get responded to him. We haven't that we came to respond to him because that is his age. That's like an 8-year-old naughty child. And then that became, little children into place. He puts them in order. If you misbehave, you put them in order. So, to prove to you that Onya is not intellectually able, I will present him. Nnamdi Kanu's family will present Nnamdi Okwu Kanu to them. To him and his minions, his fellow imbeciles, yes, with their unactivated frontal lobe, because they're all criminals anyway. So Nnamdi will have a challenge. So I have a full-blown broadcast on the 22nd of September. So between now and then, he should face the challenge. Yeah, Nnamdi became barrier now because Nnamdi has time. Nnamdi became very busy. So they can have a challenge on subject whatsoever. He's a Biafra leader or exile government, because
prime minister.
As far as I'm concerned, exile government. No, I went 3 in diaspora. I went 1 in America. When the last person that they marched, there were 2 before him, I believe. So he's the prime minister. So IPOB is setting a challenge between the prime minister of exile in government, mad people. And then
crime minister.
Yes, prime minister.
Somebody went and
so they would say, a prime minister, Mazi. Yeah. You have to be knowledgeable in a lot of areas, isn't it? So, you debate politically with your opponent. So now we don't have time. So Nnamdi has all the time in the world, so they can debate. Nnamdi, what is 15 times 7?
105.
105. So if
I bet you before and not answer that in 10 seconds. And then Nnamdi just get the answer in less than 1.2 seconds.
So what is, if you turn 105 into time, what is that? If you put it into time.
Which amount of time?
Which amount of time? What amount of time would that give you? Not in days, because I know that will go into days.
Minutes?
Yeah, minutes. How many minutes would that give you?
Well, 1 hour and 45 minutes.
1 hour 45 minutes. Thank you, Nabikem. You can go back to your room now. Thank you
so much, Nabikem.
Thank
you will soon have
yes. So
have a mate that you will teach.
Yeah.
All the way
so let the Prime Minister have 1 hour 45 minutes challenge within Nabikem on 7 subjects. Now he's intelligent, yeah. So the competition or challenge would be based on 1, economics, 2, politics, 3, history, yes, of countries. Now 4, geography. You need to know the country you want to work with, your allies, yeah. You need to know about them. So 4, geography, yes. 5, what is 5 now? What is 5 now? So you have reasoning. What's this reasoning thing? Qualitative and quantitative analysis.
Yeah.
So that is 6. Yes. And 5 is qualitative analysis. 6 is quantitative analysis.
History, he doesn't know.
Okay. I think I've called history, Mazi.
Okay.
So yeah. So economics, politics, history, geography, qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis. These are verbal reasoning, isn't it? So
all subjects as well. Add basic mathematics and also.
Thank you, Mazi, because for those
basic English
people
because
in
his
Excel
statements are always grammatically rubbish.
Thank you. So if you pivot all these 6 subjects, topics rather, fields, then let's cap it with basic mathematics to pivot. When you pivot, so they can run all their analytics and result again with that. So that's why we have to add basic mathematics. Now this is 7 topics. Yes, let the Prime Minister have challenge within Nabi. Nabikem is 8 years old and he behaves like a little child. So Nabikem is equal to him. So let them have that conversation and challenge. So if he's feeling okay, they can cap it with using musical instruments like guitar or piano to garnish. Yeah. That they can play chess together. So Nabi, yeah, IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu are presenting in Nabikem for presenting in Nabikem for a challenge between IPOB and the so-called imbecile that is intelligent enough to be a prime minister. I have no clue what that means. So, and that is
Lolo, let me allow you catch your breath. Have a little sip of water, and I may add, I know you've really done justice.
Let me finish, and then you can let me finish this. So in this 7 topics, Nabikem has given us the time. It is 1 hour 45 minutes. So it is 15. That's 15 minutes each.
Okay.
Thank you. So that is their challenge. If he lasts 5 minutes, that is all. That is the only answer I have for him and his fellow fools, imbeciles. Nonsense. They have no stand whatsoever. IPOB is all over the world. We are who we are, and we are indestructible.
Formidable. All you auto criminals, buffoons, morons that keep yapping your mouth about DOS this, DOS that, Lolo, Uchechi this, and all the nonsense you've been spewing using the sacred name of Biafra and IPOB to commit criminality, you now have a challenge with 8-year-old Nabikem Okwu Kanu, son of our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He will put all of you in your places. Case closed. Lolo, thank you very much for that. This is a wonderful breaking news on the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra Maiden Edition. We are nearly coming to our official time, but Lolo, if you're still in the mood, we may take a few calls before we round off. Let me thank Mazi Jonathan for his grace in allowing us to do this and quickly call out the phone numbers. Regular Radio Biafra listeners, I'm sure you already know the numbers, but just for those who are joining us fresh today, direct line to call is +1 213 328 6225. I'll take that again, +1 213 328 6225. And the WhatsApp number to call is +61 405 143 547. I take that again. +61 405 143 547. So call us. Lolo is happy to take your calls. As I said earlier on, just be very brief and straight to the point. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and you may have a quick, polite greeting to Lolo and make your point, question, or comment as brief as possible. There's also, I repeat, the direct line again is +23 +1 213 328 644. So sorry, 6224. There are two direct lines call +1 213 328 6224. Regular listeners of Radio Biafra, you know these numbers to call. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will take your calls. Lolo will answer your questions. We haven't got much time, but she's generous enough tonight to take a few of your questions. And then probably in her broadcast on next Sunday, she will take more. Join us just after this break.
UK Time Out on Radio Biafra, bringing news feeds from across the United Kingdom, incisive analysis by the People's Parliament, our panel dissects the topic of the week, and
you are welcome to the UK Time.
UK Time Out on Radio Biafra, bringing news feeds from across the United Kingdom, incisive analysis by the People's Parliament. Our panel dissects the topic of the week, and listeners interact.
Also featuring great Biafran history, education, awareness, and enlightenment, plus entertainment galore.
Tune in to the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra. Sundays from 7:30 p.m. Biafran time and British Summer Time. Set out for a fabulous week ahead with the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra. News, views, previews, and reviews. Join us.
Program tonight, the very first edition of this program, is no other person than IP First Lady and wife of our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in the person of Lolo Uchechi Okwu Kanu. If you've just joined us, you probably have missed a lot, so you can catch up later. But you haven't missed the opportunity to phone in to ask Lolo one or two questions before we round up. I'll take the numbers again. The direct number to call is +1 213 328 6445. +1 213 328 6445. And the WhatsApp number to call is +61 405 143 547. +61 405 143 547. Regular listeners of Radio Biafra, I'm sure you have these numbers already saved in your devices. So the lines are open. You are more than welcome to contribute. Lolo, why with the calls? I'm sure you must have had a glass of water and a breather. That was wow. And I'm sure the message couldn't have been delivered any better. So it is clear now who is on which side. If you've ever been in doubt of it and all the rubbish that go on social media, yeah. Okay. Please, let's get the calls on straight.
Biafra child, please, you are the first caller. Please go on. Machineke, I know him. Yes, yes.
Yes, I'm listening to you. Yes.
Yes, go on, go on. You are the first caller.
Lolo Uchechi, I salute you and I salute your courage. You are a woman that all of us love so much.
Thank you. They will.
So much. I mean, I can stop defending you. Last time you came here on
go ahead,
Biafra.
Mazi, Biafra child. Machineke, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am Mazi Uchechi Okwu, known as the Biafran child Machineke. Lolo Uchechi, and you came on Radio Biafra.
Are you still there, Machineke? Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Lolo Uchechi, last time that you came on Radio Biafra, you identified people as those that don't have a frontal lobe. And today again, you bring a new name. You call them Tripsom 21. But there's a question that I want to ask, and I want you to answer us in a layman language that we are going to understand. As it stands today, Aloy Ejimako is the lead counsel. There is no one that going to, dispute it. And you have someone, you have met with our leader last time, and you just came back again to London. But this question goes this way. Did our leader knew that Aloy Ejimako has committed a blunder on national television, laying allegation on him, saying that that buffoon in Finland, that criminal, that recruited agent, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told him to keep communicating with him in a time like this? I don't even know if our leader knows about all this. That is the question that I want to ask. Did our leader have an idea that Aloy Ejimako have went to national television 2 times, committed a blunder with his name? I don't know, maybe you listen to what I just said.
Yes, I heard you. I lost some of the words, but I know what you're asking. Thank you, Mazi, for the question. First of all, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been incarcerated for nearly 4 years. I mean, going to 4 years. I mean, 3 years and now. I told him when I visited him this time around, I told him that now IPOB is angry with Barrister Aloy Ejimako because of that blunder he made on that interview. That is why IPOB is angry. IPOB members and Biafrans at large, because even then our IPOB members, they love Nnamdi Kanu so much. And they are very upset about that blunder he made. If you recall, on that interview, Aloy Ejimako was a bit quaky. His voice was a bit shaky. That is number one. Number two, if you go back to the video where somebody was asking Onyendu about the idiot it's a good thing that Nnamdi Kim is not here. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like to hear where you call people names. So the imbecile in Finland, that person that tapped Onyendu. So Onyendu not in a place where he does not have a full hand information. Now he is being fed on a certain, yeah. Sugar. Then when I come with nu. Yes, I come with nu. So like this, So and every person comes with sugar. Okay, so I give my husband the benefit of the doubt in the sense that which whatever alloy has fed him, he didn't quite understand the damage alloy has caused. So I will keep it at that. But Awalamia, exactly why the people are upset with alloy Ijimako. So Onyendu has the right to keep anybody as his legal whatever. But he also needs to know why the people, because what we are doing is about the people. It's not about emotions and all of that. More than women, I'm not an emotional woman. I am emotional. As in a women, not emotional. I'm a full moon Virgo and I'm not emotional because I'm very emotional. If I'm an emotional person or woman, by now. But because I am logical, I see things, I dissect things, I pieces anything I will pieces it and I will analyze it. Analyze 1 week ago. And some other person has gone on and moved on. But that is why I am careful before I do things. I am careful before I say things. I'd rather not say anything than say whatever. So Onyendu cannot grasp the blunder, the how much or the amount of damage that our Lord made by that very comment he made. Okay, so we cannot fault Onyendu on that, but I've made him understand. No, and we have tried. I was upset myself because we have tried as much as we can to disassociate Onyendu to know inside, to know what is going on. So we have fought the battle and we have won to remove Onyendu from the madness of this imbecile and his fellow minions. Vermings no sense. Because they are playing with the government. How the government na ricota. So my brother, I hope I've answered your question. I am being as careful as I can be, but at least try to be open to our people. So give everybody the okudajiro for now. Okay, we need to manage the situation until Onyendu comes out. But thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Next caller, please.
Okay, caller on signal, please go on. Caller on signal, go on. Caller on signal. Can you hear me?
Ndewo. Ndewo lọlọ anyị lọlọ ndewo nwanyị ọma nwanyị eji eje mba anyị ekele gị na Biafra land and our brother and our comrade also. Hello, I come next. Okay, ndewo lọlọ ekele m and our brother Mazi Nice Nwokoro ebu m ekele bịa aha nwụ Mazi Egbo na eshi m Biafra land akpọga obi dị m ụtọ na ihe na-eme to hear from our lọlọ n'oteela ịma anyị nụrụ realize this ọ na-adị anyị mma because as behind every successful man there is a woman nke a mere anyị ekwete and we are solidly behind our leader and the family entirely. Enwe m oke okwu the only thing m bịara ịgwa gị lọlọ challenge etoro ekperiba iji our Nnabike atụ ekperima na-agaghị skuul gbara ọsọ gbafere road gbala Finland gaa hide ya mụ ahụkwara ya na jive ọ ka mma ka akpọtara ya. O nwere ndị a na-eji atụ ọdịka challenge ahụ tụ ekperima. M nwere one of our brother apa ama na-akpọ agagharị ọdịka mmadụ ahụ dịka ndị ahụ idifinere ya ndị a ga-achọtara ya ndị ọgbọ ya because onye ahụ bụ onye oshi enweghị right ebe Nnabike gara skuul gụọ akwụkwọ na ekperima ọ gara skuul onye si na ya bụ fake lawyer. Look on the fake lawyer to challenge with somebody who is well read and informed. So it's not possible, but we will go by because you have a law on day and we continue to say that what we want is Biafra and Biafra we must get. And they will guys there also have none.
There were. Caller on WhatsApp, please. You'll be the last caller. Can you hear me? Please go on.
Yeah, Mazi, good evening from here. Our Lolo, I can let you go. As I'm chilling at Babu. You have landed on a Kohana Kola Kachi. Only the good Mazi, and you here below. One phone back. Only the understanding the IPOB here in Mozambique zone, Nampla province. Mazi, if I can see apart from my sister, if I can see apart from more days, you are oh, where we heard the more freedom fighter. Give me a chance here. What a many. I'm not I beg I got today. One of them, I didn't today, one of them not to them like only an chugging now, not the Biafra. Cable, she wear, but I can't be able today. Yeah, that's person. Yes, it doesn't matter if you put a woman not from Biafra. My woman, I'm going to believe you. When somebody church, I want to hear a church, what they had the man at this world. Shouldn't make all a superpower at this world. Shouldn't make all super. You recognize Zoya as a hero. No, somebody put that. You might have worship. You might have family. You might have relationship. You might have Maya. You might have worship. Each other know what the freedom, all the hero. How tomorrow? How easy we remember that person? Remember that you know Haga? And make that person. That's it. More Nigeria, but Nigeria, one them because when you are now forget around for before. You know that check it now. I call Bola. Maybe over me. Chineke nna ya na-ewishi eme na ka ọ bụ ishi anya ọhịa ọgụna fụ ihe mere ọgụna fụ ihe mere ya bụ ishi anya ọhịa my sister jiji ike Chineke gbagbu mere ihe ọbụla ndị iro na-akwụ na gị ọnwụ mmiri ahụ na-ekwute ka ọnwụ ọ ga na-awaghachi n'anya enweghị ndị iro ga-eme gị iwu our first lady we believe on you we hope for you people maka ihe nchiji na-agwụ biko ka a chọrọ na barista nke ọ na-anụ ka a chọrọ na efam ọkwa leader is international super work I na here. Actually, some did giraffe already Mozambique got here. Mozambique got here already. I got here. Actually, some Chiruka, I'm not okay like that. Actually, some Dimma, Kraka, over I know move. One of us, Iraka, don't tell you because what I form I know other people like the whole world. I form Mana, actually, some Chiri on the Hamil Mozambique. Thank you from your church. Please, highway. You see, get
you see, I hear you, Mazi. Ndewo, ọ ga-adịrị gị na mma. Dịrị anyị niile na mma. In terms of that, ile anya anyị meriri Nigeria government, kpakọta ha, anyị ji ha ebe ọjọọ. And they can't really do much about it. And like I said before, egwuregwu ka ha na egwuzi. See, this is political situation. This is a political issue. Agbanyekwa ndị ara na-enwe sense na-amaghị ihe political solution. Ha na-akọ imbecile that they are. I don't know how anybody wants to understand what they're saying. That apart, if we will require a son, we will proceed to acquire one. And having said that, in terms of just as you said, and like I attributed earlier on, I need Mazi Jonathan, Mazi Mukoro, Mazi Edozie, Mazi Muru, Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, who does not go to our house? Nigeria, who has suffered what Nnamdi Kanu has suffered? But Wazirike, I will come to Wazirike. Maybe my next broadcast, I will discuss Wazirike a little bit and what he did. At least. I'm able was Ricky. I'm a Ricky. I'm a Lagos. I'm really happy. So was Ricky, even though that he's on the side now, but at least he came from somewhere and everybody may able see. This retarded fool, yes, not a Finland with his funny facial features. Where does he originate from? You don't know that he's from Ebonyi. That is a cooked story. He is the one that cooked that nonsense. Somebody may call us our family. That is not his home. That is not his home. Away back, that is not his home. Yeah, only Kenahe. Imanda and Lagos, they don't know their father. That's who he is. So, what rally has he chaired? What rally has he ever anchored? What rally has he ever led? In Achimota and the Achimota Biafrans, Biafra. Police or tutor also before. Now, police or tutor Belana, you have even on the how many times have you been arrested? Even before IPOB became flesh under the sun, Nnamdi Kanu had been arrested in 2015, in 2005. Do you understand me? Where were you in 2005? Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in 2005. He was kept in solitary confinement for 150 days. Like the DSS dungeon. Go and check that. This Okoko and above Festus Keyamo. That Dondi or Dondi was his solicitor or attorney or whatever he was called, and was his lawyer. So how dare you? If the human business cockroach, he be calling you. Go and lead rally. Go to the Biafra land. Even if you know or rally. Lead protest. My mother-in-law led protests. We've been to go and lead protests. Nah, I just had to talk to them today, and this will be the end of it. When time. So they should stop seeking my attention. I don't have it. That is why, Mazi, I have brought out Nnamdi. In fact, we all had made an agreement to bring out Nnamdi. Nnamdi is 8 years old. So disregard his intellectual powers at this little age. Sometimes too, he can play, like a child. This year, this year come back. So he plays like that. That is why Jessica became near, and then Nnamdi would train him, Nnamdi would train him socially, because social intelligence, environmental intelligence, that is what should be, not emotional intelligence, social intelligence. Nnamdi will teach him as well, because he has none. I think that should have been the 6th one. All of them are under number 7. So Nnamdi is his. Nnamdi will channel all the strength with the little time only from all the activities to teach the little child, Nona Finland, a lesson. As a prime minister, you should know about your country, all the minerals and stones and gemstones you have in your country. What is the topography of the Biafra land that you want to restore? Yes. What are the minerals then? Nnamdi can have that in geography. They will have that competition. He will tell Nnamdi the topography of where he wants to, and show him the place on the map. Imbecile. That is it, Mazi.
Thank you very much, Lolo. Time is fast spent. We have actually
let me pick another, just the last call. Let him just do
last caller.
Just the last call. Last caller, please. Caller on WhatsApp. Go.
Okay, thank you, Mazi Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mazi Nice Ngokoro and our Lolo on the board. Good evening, all. My name is Chukwudi. I am calling from Italy. And I also want to say that the Lolo and our sister also is a full reincarnation of Abba women riot, as we had in history. We are very proud of you, and you were a strength to us and also to a motherhood. But I want to ask you a question with a heavy heart, because this last time our leader was rendition from extraordinary rendition from Kenya. We have been through a lot. And in the bias na oyane kirie kwesiri ikpontu. Because why I'm saying this is because of the siblings of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I want to ask you whether our leader knows the activities of his siblings, because it has cost us a lot. A lot of Biafran youth have been died after all the rendition of our leader, of which this last time we heard that committed a lot, and up to today he's still causing IPOB pain. So that is what I want to ask, whether our leader knows the activities of the siblings. Is very painful to us. That is all I have to say. Thank you. God bless you and God bless you.
Yeah, well.
Thank you, Wachinek. I think it's a defeating question to end. Lolo, over to you.
Thank you, Mazi. I hear you. To honestly answer your question, Onyendu, first of all, some certain things could be misconstrued based on difference in understanding and difference in the ability to analyze issues. Now, Onyendu does not have a full picture of whatever it is that is happening. But like I said, based on our difference in analyzing things and we can misconstrue things, it does not negate the heartfelt pain you have just explained here. And I am so sorry to hear that. Having said that, I have been Uchechi Okwu Kanu since 2022. Some of you are mad at now. 3 months after my mother died, my husband was taken. I will eventually at some point release my interview in July 2021. I don't think that's went out on social media, but I will release it. I was ill for a number of times. I mean, over time up until 2022, a little bit, and that was when I started to speak. I was made aware of some certain misunderstanding that was existing at that moment, and I tried, amongst other people as well, to make peace within the IPOB leadership and the concerned persons and individuals, but that did not happen. And they their own side, their own side, and things like that. And I have always sought unity amongst us, regardless what it is. So, my dear brother, this explanation does not negate your pain and heavy burdened heart. Yeah, but I would plead for us not to have a divided house. Kanye log as one body until Onyendu apota. A lot of things too. I am waiting for. I've gone to see Onyendu several times, but I have not told him. I have mentioned a few things to him, but what I said to him is that a little bit of myself in the way that Onyendu explained me. That is how I fight until I. So I am keeping that aside because so I am keeping that aside. Because of this surgery he needs for the heart. So anyway, these two different hearts. I will write about the heart issues at some point, but that will be after my meeting with some certain people. He has 2 different valve issues. Yeah, in Keneli may regurgitate. I know he is mentally strong, and it bleeds my heart to see him in that condition. Yet, I want John the mother as to burden him the more. All he should worry about is what is being done. Then more because more than women wars. I mean, more high war. People will say, "Oh, so Uchechi Okwu Kanu. Is she this warrior? I am a warrior." Spiritually, intellectually, I will place myself now as an eagle. The time would come, and I don't fight on the ground. I will take you to my territory. I will lift you up, pick you up as a snake that you are. So I am waiting for Onion to come out, and then I can resume. I got my war. When they feeling that I'm on no. I'm very good at that. I'm not on, but I will deal with you in my own way. So I am waiting for Onyendu to come out. So I will plead with all of you, please, to walk with me and wait for Onyendu to come out, and then you can lay all this pain. Onyendu has so much he's dealing with. It means that free time you go and give him complaint. It gets to his blood pressure. It to the pain he already bears. So I am being cautious. I am highly cautious about his health. So I am careful. So however we can manage our misunderstandings and issues, let us please. I have gone through this step before, trying to make sure that now some certain people who were upset about maybe some sort of misconstrued perspective by one leadership member or another, and how we had just by indiscipline things overblew. So I tried to bring that together. But this example of this individual in America, this woman, she behaved in a very, very bad way. She accepted to come and make peace with the leadership, and then the next minute she went and in fact I should call her name, Madam Bridget. She's never done anything bad to me or anything. I've always advocated for for her to advocated for her ability to bring women together, which was why I elected her then when we went to the US. So I told her that she was not disciplined, because I believe that for a certain entity or society to function in order, you must follow the policy, you must follow the law, you must follow the. So I need a Burungunga in America. Why are you here? Why remove law and order from this country? You will find savages. So Africans are even naturally ordered than Ondocha. Even without the law and everything, you find some of us behaving like humans. But here in the UK, remove order and law. That is how sick they can be. So this woman, Madam Bridget, in fact, I'm calling her name today because she disrespected the body of the structure of Nnamdi Kanu. Even in her misconduct, I was telling another one, that one was coming to me. I was very ill. Some people don't know what I went through. Whilst as well on social media, I was not even on social media. But Madam Oyibo will call me behind and I say, I will say this in my broadcast next week, to cut out time. So I will repeat this moment. I mean, this very question, I think that should be the first thing I should treat next week. But to cut it short, this woman accepted to make peace with DOS, and she decided to create another meeting and gathered all her fellow imbeciles and added them to the meeting. For nonsense there. And somebody that agreed to attend the meeting to make peace decided to say, "Oh no, I'm not going until this person comes and talks about me." Marcia, you're not serious. You're indisciplined, and that is why she's not at peace with me today, because now I'm worried that she's not disciplined, and which is the truth. It's not an insult. You are not disciplined, and that is it. So, my dear brother, God bless you. I pray that we all can find peace and hold our peace, and that Chukwu Okike Abịama will give us the understanding, peace that passes every understanding. There is a peace you will have. It will pass some certain understanding capacity that you are able to hold onto that peace, even in the midst of storm, in order to get to the other side. So please, Biko, iwe everybody the ọkụ dajụrụ until onye ndu pụta. Biko no, eji maha Chineke rịọ unu. Ndewo Mazi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lolo. We hold our peace. We patiently wait on Onyendu to come out. And come out, he will in good health. Health and heart in no distant time. We can't thank you enough, Lolo. Thank you very much, Mazi, Jonathan, for your kindness and the time extension. Great Biafrans, wonderful listeners and contributors. This is where we draw the curtains on this very first edition of the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra. If you enjoyed this episode, we promise to keep it up. Thank you for being a part of it. Do join us again, same time next Sunday. Our appreciation goes to the UK Media and IT Innovation team that put this program together. All the members and the entire UK family, my cabinet, and all that will be coming on much later on this show. Of course, special thanks goes to our DOS, all the gallant Biafran media warriors, Radio Biafran, our crew, especially Mazi, Jonathan, Chinedu. On behalf of all of us, I, Ikechukwu Nice Nwokoro, who hail from Onitsha Iri, Ezinihite, Mbise, Owerri Province, Biafra land. Go and ask and verify. From me, from here, is good night and God bless.
Bringing news feeds from across the United Kingdom, incisive analysis by the People's Parliament. Our panel dissects the topic of the week, and listeners interact.
Also featuring great Biafran history, education, awareness, and enlightenment, plus entertainment galore.
Tune in to the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra. Sundays from 7:30 p.m. Biafran time and British Summer Time. Set out for a fabulous week ahead with the UK Timeout. Tune in to the UK Timeout on Radio Biafra. Sundays from 7:30 p.m. Biafran time and British Summer Time. Set out for a fabulous week ahead with the UK Timeout.
Good evening, Biafrans. Good evening from Abuja, the Nigerian capital. I greet you all, Biafrans, friends of Biafrans, the lovers of freedom. My name is Benjamin Madubu. I am an IPOB member. I was part of those that was in detention with our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kuje prison, from DSS dungeon to Kuje prison, between 2015 to 2018. That is when I got my freedom. Now, I went to visit our leader today. Finally, I succeeded in meeting him one-on-one.